Hi, my name is Dale Guiducci, and I'm so honored that Mike Fedek asked me to come on with you tonight via this video and explain a little bit about the benefits of solar for homeowners around the United States. I would have loved to have been with you live, but we have a very important meeting Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and Mike came up with this idea for me to record this very quick video for you. So let's dive in. I want to share with you the benefits of solar, residential solar for homeowners here in the US. So the first thing of note is installing a solar system does cost money. Those ads you might see on Facebook or other social media platforms, maybe YouTube, about, hey, free solar in Florida, California solar for free. It's not free. It does cost money, but it saves far more money than it costs. And in some cases, homeowners can start saving money right away. And I'm going to show you a couple examples of that here shortly. So how does solar save people money? That was the question I had when I first looked at the solar industry. So with Reach Solar, one thing to understand, we do things very, very differently here at Reach. The overriding concept here at Reach is that we put homeowners first. Unbelievably, we are probably the first solar company in history to actually have that as our mantra, our mission statement, is putting homeowners first. We always believe in putting the clients first by doing the right thing every single time. Now, from a conceptual standpoint, how do we put the homeowners first? Well, let's talk about lowering the cost of solar. In countries like Germany and Australia, there are more houses per capita that have solar than here in the United States. Why is that? And it's because they've found a way to drive down the cost for the homeowner, and that's what we want to be a part of. So the first thing that we do is we lower the customer acquisition cost for us at Reach Solar. Solar companies traditionally have people going around knocking on doors and doing online advertising. Both can be effective, but both are very expensive. We don't do either one of those. What we do is we work through people like maybe you who know homeowners, maybe homeowners yourself, right? But you also know homeowners that potentially want to save on their electric bill. You could refer that homeowner over to us, and then you get paid a commission based on that sale. So that is a lower cost of doing business than, again, traditional door knocking or online advertising. The other way we lower cost is through a lower baseline. So what does that mean? Well, baseline basically is the hard cost in installing a solar system, the equipment, the labor, the profit for the installation company. So what we do is we work with regional installation companies all over the United States. We go out and we find the very best company in New England, as an example, or in North and South Carolina, or Georgia, or California, or Nevada. We find the very best company based on their BBB rating, based on their BBB reviews, their Google reviews, how they communicate with customers, how they communicate with us. We choose to work with them. But because we are bringing them volume of sales, we have thousands of people around the United States, so we can bring volume of business to these installers. We can negotiate a lower baseline cost for that solar system, a lower hard cost, and therefore pass that as well on to the homeowner. And lastly, we have lower selling costs. Why? Because we're remote sales. I'm sitting right in my home office recording this for you right now. That's where our salespeople work. We don't have to put wear and tear in our car, drive miles and miles to get to an appointment. We are sitting in our home. We have lower costs. Therefore, we can pass that on to Reach, which can pass that on to you. But how does solar work? And how does solar save money? And I'm going to tell you really quickly, when I found out that a homeowner could go solar, receive the benefits that I'm about to talk about, and have no out-of-pocket costs, no down payment whatsoever, not have to take their credit card out, not have to scratch a check, none of that, I was amazed. I've been in sales or sales management pretty much for all my adult life, and I had never sold anything that didn't require somebody to cough up a credit card or write a check. I was excited, and that's one of the biggest reasons I actually turned over my other business to somebody else, and I joined the solar industry. So what does this mean? No upfront cost. Well, it is what it says. Okay, a homeowner does not need to take any money out of their pocket. They can have their solar system installed on their roof. That solar system can be now working to bring in energy from the sun, which is free, instead of using energy from their electric company. And it could be working before they ever have to make their first monthly payments. Very straightforward. The second thing is there's a 30% tax credit. So what that means is, let's say somebody's solar system costs $30,000. Solar systems generally range from between $15,000 to $60,000 or $70,000, and they range all in between depending on the size of the home and the energy usage of the homeowner. But let's say a $30,000 system, for a nice round number, 30% of that is $9,000. They could potentially get that coming back from their from the federal government in next year's tax return. They can get that money back, which is another nice benefit of going solar. There's an increased property value. Now, this obviously isn't really savings, but it is adding to the value of the home, in most cases about 4 to 5%, so that when they sell that house, they're going to get some additional value on that house. Today, home buyers are looking for what? Energy efficient homes. One of the most energy efficient things that you can do to lower the cost of electricity is going solar. And the biggest thing is you're locking in your energy rate. What I'm going to show you is a couple of situations where we were able to drive the energy rate, the rate that someone was paying for their energy, down between 20 and 30%, and you lock that in for a 25 or 30-year period instead of being subject to the company, utility company rate hikes of between 6 and 20%, and sometimes higher than that per year. So one thing that we've got to learn is a term called kilowatt hour. Most of you do know that, some of you may not, so I want to point it out. Gasoline is measured in gallons. When we go to the pump, we pay a certain price per gallon. Electricity, very simply, is measured in kilowatt hours, and depending on what our utility company charges us, we pay a certain amount of cents per kilowatt hour. It's very, very simple to understand. Now, in order to understand how solar works and how solar saves money, we've got to understand a couple of concepts as well, based on how the utility companies treat solar. So the first one is called net metering, or one-to-one net metering. So let me explain that to you. Solar only produces energy during the day when the sun is out. That makes sense, right? However, a properly sized solar system will produce the home more energy than it needs to operate during the day. So the question is, what do we do with this excess energy? We're going to send, in the case of net metering, we're going to send that energy back out to the grid. Okay, so if we're very used to having utility poles outside our house sending energy into our house, we're going to reverse that, and we're going to send excess energy back out to the grid, and the utility company is going to give the homeowner a credit for each kilowatt hour sent out to the grid. And in the case of net metering, that credit is worth what the homeowner would normally have to pay for energy coming into their home. So these credits are going to offset what the home uses from the utility company at night, because remember, solar system not working at night, so they're going to have to get energy from the grid, from the utility company at night when the solar system is no longer working. This is called offset. In many cases, the number of kilowatt hours going out during the day is going to be greater than the number of kilowatt hours used at night. This is going to produce what's called net credits to the homeowner, which can be used on future month bills or even paid back to them in the form of a check. This is a great solution when the utility company reimburses the homeowner the same kilowatt hour rate that the homeowner pays the utility for buying electricity. Okay, here's an example of a net metering situation, a real live situation. I sold this system to a homeowner in Azusa, California. They are with Azusa Light and Power. Azusa Light and Power has the concept of net metering. The retail reimbursement is 30 cents a kilowatt hour. They used a little over 10,000 kilowatt hours a year, and their average bill is $200. How did we learn all that? By looking at and analyzing the utility bill. So when we work with a homeowner, the only thing we really need from that homeowner is their utility bill. So $200 a month that they're paying. We built them a 7.2 kilowatt system, which is producing more energy, a little bit more energy than what they were using in the previous year. Here's a picture of the system. You see those light rectangles. Those are areas where we could have put solar panels. We didn't need to, though. We could offset 100% of their annual usage by putting the solar panels where we put them, which is reflected by the dark black triangles there. So on the south and western, we want to make sure that we get the most production from the sun as possible. So let's see how this shaped out for this homeowner. Their bill for the solar system, their monthly payment on that solar system is $122.71 a month. Okay, their utility rate dropped from 30 cents a kilowatt hour down to 20 cents. I believe that's about a 33% reduction. They have a new estimated utility bill of just $5.80 a month. So you add that up, their total monthly electricity cost is going to be $128. Now remember, their monthly payment was $200. Their new payment's $128.51. They're saving $71.29 a year right away, or $855, but that's only until the utility company charges, it increases their rates. So in other words, when the utility company increases their rates next year, the year after, that homeowner is actually saving a whole lot more than they are in the first year. So based on a 5% a year annual utility rate increase, which is very conservative, the 25-year savings for this homeowner is going to be close to $80,000 or $3,200 a year. I don't know any homeowner that wouldn't like $80,000 over the life of their home and $3,200 a year on average. Now again, that's net metering. We also have another concept that utility companies use, and more companies are starting to use this, where they pay less than the retail rate, kilowatt hour rate for energy sent back out to the grid. So in that case, we want to send the smallest amount of energy out to the grid as possible due to that lower reimbursement rate. Okay, when we're getting the higher reimbursement rate, yeah, let's send a lot of energy out there, but a lower rate, let's do something else with that energy. So instead, we're going to store it in a battery. Okay, we're going to store energy. The system is going to be powering the home, but what do we do with that excess energy? We're going to put it in a battery, and when the sun goes down, because remember, when the sun goes down, it's not producing energy anymore. The solar system is not. We are going to now kick in that battery, and that home is going to run on the battery throughout the night until it is fully discharge. Now the home may need to draw a small amount of energy from the grid, let's say at 2 o'clock in the morning till about 6:30 when the sun comes up in the morning, but then when the sun does come up, the battery is going to be recharged by the sun for use the next night. Now this solution allows for a homeowner to purchase very little, if in some cases no, energy from the utility company throughout the year. So I'm going to show you an example. This is a homeowner in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, with Southern California Edison, which charges, as you can see, some extremely high rates. They use 7,761 kilowatt hours a year. In this case, we're looking at 44.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Their average bill is $288 a month. We built them a little 5.2 kilowatt system. It's producing a bit more than what they used last year. Again, you can see where the dark panels are. That is the solar panels, and where we chose to put the solar panels from getting energy coming in the morning from the east and then using that very powerful afternoon sun. Their solar payment, $114.15 a month. We're dropping their rate from 46 cents a kilowatt hour down to 35. Their new estimated utility bill is going to be $110. Their total monthly electric cost is going to be $224, but it was $288. So $224 from $288, we're saving that homeowner $63.56, or $762 in the first year. But again, that is only based on the first year. What if Southern California Edison, and for those of you in California, I say, what if you're going to go, yeah, they're definitely going to go up next year, aren't they, right? So what if they go up 5% a year over the course of 25 years? That homeowner is going to save $71,000 over that lifetime, or $2,900 a year. Now, there's many variables involved in solar. okay, that we have to look at as solar sales professionals. One is what we talked about, the kilowatt hour rate charged by the utility company. Okay, higher rates typically are going to equal higher savings. We have shading for trees. Okay, if a house is completely covered by trees, we cannot get sun on the roof. That is going to impact what we can do for that homeowner. The size of the roof, the tilt of the roof, the azimuth or the direction to the sun of those roof planes is going to be a factor. And again, the reimbursement rate from the utility company for excess energy production is another factor. Therefore, not every homeowner will see immediate savings as shown in the previous examples. However, nearly all will have significant long-term savings and increased property value, making solar a great investment in their home and for their future. So there you have it. I hope it wasn't too much information in a very short period of time. I just wanted you to understand how solar works, where those savings come from, and if we can put a relationship together between our two companies, and I hope we can, I look forward to working with each and every single one of you. Thanks for the time.